Good morning, COT data video for the 11th of September 2023. We didn't have a COT data video last week because Christian was on holiday, and so this is now fully updated. Okay, so we can see a big decline on the Euro positions, the Euro FX. We are obviously still very positive, but we're definitely less positive than what we were. And it looks like almost like we're doing like a head and shoulders almost. You can see like the head, shoulder, potentially, and then you'd be looking for a neck break there. So it looks like we're probably looking a little bit heavy on the euro. The dollar is just doing exactly what I said would happen. It's just been quite leisurely, really. It's not really moving much, and inevitably it's probably going to track higher. And then we'll get the Euro USD sell signal, so that'll be of note. Okay, so we have to wait for the crossover first, and we're going to add the yen, and then we can see what happened with the yen, and we can compare the crosses against the dollar and the yen. Well, we've got the supports, so not too bad for the yen. If we're below that, then that would be a bit of an issue, but we're kind of chopping a little bit. We're consolidating, aren't we? Ranging sideways. We're not trending higher or lower, we're just going sideways. So yen is going to be tricky. Dollar is obviously going to be a little bit tricky because we're just going sideways, but the euro is selling off slightly. Okay, let's take off the euro, put on Aussie. Aussie really dumped. We might get an Aussie yen signal where we're going to get an AJ sell, an Australian dollar yen sell set up potentially if we get those two lines cross, which might be this time next week. So it all depends on this week. So, and we've got the CPI on Wednesday, we have to remember, so that's possibly going to change the dollar prospects. It might go higher after the CPI. Okay, so be careful, but I think AJ set up potentially next week, so that'll be quite interesting. Aussie off, pound on. Pound was pumping, and we're sort of declining. We made a lower high here and a lower low. 463, 470, yeah. So a lower high and a lower low for the pound. So we can see how we could probably make a channel, right? If we continue consolidating like this, we're going to make a channel, and it could be a flag where we're going to have like a pump on that. So if you're not sure about what I mean, I can draw it in Discord and I'll show you what I mean. But basically it's going to be a channel, and then we might get a channel break to the upside on the pound. So that's of note. So that's the pound. And that was the 50 basis point hike, this move here. Okay, pound off, CAD on. CAD was positive territory, and it looked like we had the dollar CAD set up, but we didn't, and it disqualified, and they sold the CAD. And this is the net non-coms. Remember, this is the banks and the big boys with their huge pockets, like institutions. These are the people that can move markets, basically, like market makers, and they sold CAD quite a bit. So no setup there. That was going to be a dollar CAD short. CAD was stronger. Yeah, that would have been a dollar CAD short, but it disqualified. So then it fell. So it's not anything really to be talked about there. If the CAD carried on higher, that would have been a good setup, but it didn't. It dumped. Right, so that's the kind of disqualified that dollar CAD setup there from a net non-com perspective. Gold pumped, which I thought might happen. We had some supports here, pretty much dead on, wasn't it? So 984, 101. So I mean, I was saying it's going to be coming into supports 2 weeks ago. And it did exactly as forecast. So it's positive, and we're more positive than we were the week prior. 101, 138. So the big fish have bought gold. Okay, so be aware of that. Gold off, and then we can look at the Kiwi. Oh, they sold it. We were consolidating quite a bit, but for ages and ages, and now they really sold the New Zealand dollar. So that's of note. We're still range bound, but it has actually moved because we were doing this for several weeks, and it actually has been sold off, but we're still ranging and we're still consolidating. Okay, so that's fairly interesting. It didn't, at least it's like done something, because from here almost like all year it hadn't really done much, and it's just starting to do something, and it's being sold off by the banks. Okay, Kiwi off, and then Swiss franc on, and that's it. So we're consolidating on the Swiss franc. And just a reminder, if you want to get access to this tool, it's free for Bulletin tier and above. So if you're a basic subscriber or premium subscriber, you'll get this for free, and then you can use this tool however you want. And don't forget, it's not just net non-coms, but you've got hedge funds, and you've got commercials as well, and you've got a thing called a delta on here as well, which is really cool. And at the end, Christian's summarized it for us, which is really awesome. Alright, so it's just a load of stuff on this document, so have a look. It's Sunday, so you've got quite a bit of time to have a look at the document. And don't forget, you can sort of mess around with things with this as well. For example, you can do any permutation. You might not be interested in the dollar, but you could be interested in perhaps Euro CAD. Maybe that's something that you're trading this week. Perhaps you're looking for the sell side on the Euro CAD. Perhaps maybe you're hoping that these two lines are going to cross. There's the Euro CAD buy, for example. You would have done quite well after that. This is an example, or maybe not the Euro CAD, but the Euro Aussie. For example, we take CAD off. Something like that. Anyway, you can see the Euro is quite strong compared to the Aussie. And that's it. So I'll wrap up now. Have a great day, and I'll speak to you guys tomorrow.